Hi guys, Cam Alex Mason here. Oh, whoops. I forgot several things. So, first off, this is episode 5 of Call of Duty, a Halloween related topic. And before I continue, I did forget a vital key ending in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, in my summary. I forgot to say that, by the way, Jamie Lloyd killed her foster mother at the end because she was so traumatized by what her uncle does when he kills everybody, because of collateral damage. Because he never gets the actual person he needs. He just gets anybody else who's like in his way. So basically, she killed her mother while drawing a bath for her. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Loomis carrying his 44, he's like, no, 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 and they like pinned him against the wall so he couldn't fire the gun at her. And they played the Halloween theme like slowed down, like ding 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 ding. But anyway, so now I'm going to be talking about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, which was released in 1989, which is when this movie takes place. Good enough. This takes place a year after the whole events of Halloween 4, and basically, it's the opening credits. They play all this stuff, and and Michael Myers was shot dozens of times by those people, but later, stumbled into a riverside shack which was inhabited by a mountain man, collapsed onto the wooden floor, blah 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 blah, and eventually killed him. However, basically on Halloween Eve, and this is October 30th, by the way, there's a big old lightning storm, and 9-year-old Jamie, she was going under, like those things that they kind of do. It's kind of like a polygraph test, but it's not. Like they're like measuring your brainwave activity to see if you're really spiked. That means you're really scared, and you gotta get the doctors there. This is like a child's insane asylum, basically. Only, a lot less creepy and more cute, I guess. I don't know if that's even appropriate, but anyway. So she's having a nightmare, basically, where she's like getting seeing flashbacks from the last movie, and she can't scream at this because she's so traumatized. Like, her scream and her cries, she sounds like this. Like, she wants to scream, but she can't. And she's going under, like, intense therapy lessons. And, she's now got, like, a possessed link between her and her uncle. Like, she can basically see his thoughts, like, see what he's doing now. Like, she saw him kill the mountain man and kill all the other stuff. But, and when she stabbed her stepmother, or not her stepmother, that's wrong. Basically, meanwhile, Dr. Loomis has interrupted her treatment to open her trachea, asserting that she would stabilize. However, that didn't happen. Recuperating mute Jamie was visited in her clinic room by her foster sister Rachel Carruthers and her friend Tina Williams, which I liked so much, only for her to like die in this movie. She survived the second movie, like the movie before, but died in this movie, which is stupid. And they also got a new dog, Max. So they're visiting her, asking her about a rock they basically are joined by Dr. Loomis, and all of a sudden a rock is thrown at their window while Dr. Loomis is also in the room at this point. And I guess basically this is like the modern area. This is like how instead of like torches and pitchforks and stuff like being raised at saying let's kill the witch, let's kill the witch, they threw a rock through the window, shattering it, and with a piece of paper tied to it, and it said, "The evil child must die." And they were all blaming her, which is kind of sad because she had nothing to do with, well, technically she kind of did, but most of those people that get killed by him are all just collateral damage anyway. I mean, if you really want to complain, maybe you should just step out of his way so he can actually... And I sound kind of evil for saying this, but, you know, most of those people are collateral damage. They just get in his way, so, you know, unnecessary killing, and it's unnecessary regardless. But they're basically going through a series of events, Halloween stuff, and killer... Basically, the inhabitants of the town were irrationally scarred. Rachel goes back to her red brick home with the dog Max, and apparently Michael Myers is like there, like watching her from nearby bushes. You know, like how those perverts are like hiding behind the trees. And he's like, oh yeah, oh, strip, yes. But instead of doing like that, he's just like, I don't see the point. And she eventually, like, when she's taking a shower and stuff, she's like about ready to take a shower, I guess I should say. But in the art class, while Jamie was taking art class, she sensed a prediction of believing that Max and all the other people were in danger, like because Rachel was being stalked. And she was wrapped around with a towel because she was about to get inside, like, the shower, but she gets called, and Dr. Loomis says, leave that place immediately. Afterwards, the police found no evidence of foul play, and Max returned safely. Later, however, Rachel dressed in her upstairs bedroom. Myers again appeared in her closet as she dressed in another room, and found a framed picture of her foster sister James with a cracked glass. She was suddenly and deliberately stabbed in the chest/shoulder area with a pair of scissors, like right here, I guess. And I don't remember seeing. I only saw the movie once, and I'm going to see it again for my reenactments. But it was somewhat gory. Again, I honestly didn't see the fact that this movie was scary. I just thought it was like the same cliche stuff over and over again in most Halloween movies. You go into a house and you end up dying because you weren't supposed to be in that house in the first place. And, you know. But, he appeared in... oh, wait, I read that already. The violent death again caused shaking and convulsions throughout Jamie's body. Like, she basically had a seizure because she knew she couldn't stop it. So now, the police department... and the Dr. Loomis goes there and recalled the emotionless killer of the previous Halloween with Sheriff Ben Meeker. You never saw his eyes. You never saw that nothing. No expression. Blank. My memory goes back 12 years to the night when I offered. He removed his black glove to show his disfigured, scarred, burnt hand. Like, I wasn't supposed to read that. It was in parentheses, but that's the scarred hand that Dr. Loomis got from the explosion. And he says, look at that. I prayed that that evil would burn in hell, but in my heart I knew that hell would not have him. And they were taken to the local... they were called in to go to the local cemetery because it turns out he just took a... he grave robbed again, except this time instead of taking a headstone... he took a casket that was big enough for a 9-year-old girl, and that's what it was originally for. He basically took the body out and then, did all that stuff. But now we go back to, like, Tina arriving at the Carruthers home where there was no evidence of Rachel, looking forward to a weekend Halloween party, and car enthusiast Mike and Food Mart store clerk Spitz. Even though Michael was in the house spying on them, nothing happened, which is odd. He also did this in broad daylight, by the way. It wasn't even night, and he killed people in the middle of the day, which kind of was like, whoa. Okay, now I'm kind of getting, like, paranoid here, because he broke the cycle. This is like the first time we ever saw him kill something or somebody in broad daylight, because he normally did it during Halloween night or Halloween Eve, you know, when he escapes and stuff. But anyway, so spying on them, and she turned up outside the children's clinic, And Jamie, who was like scared that she was being stalked by Myers, she fled through the clinic's corridors, laundry room, and basement's furnace room, although it was only the clinic's gardener, which was odd. Dr. Loomis came back and begging her to help her find Michael because he knows now that she's got like a psychic connection to him. And he said frantically, "We both know he's alive, but you know where he is. Why? Why are you protecting him? You can't hide from him. He can always get to you. Today in the cemetery, somebody dug a coffin. It was a coffin of a 9-year-old girl. What do you think he's going to do with that, huh? You're 9 years old, aren't you, Jamie? Jamie? Tears won't get you anywhere. Help me to find him. We'll find him together. There's a reason why he has this power over you. Do you ever wonder what that is?" Basically. And then a Chicago-bound bus arrives in Haddonfield, where an unidentified black-dressed, trench-coated figure with silver steel-tipped boots disembarked. By the way, I don't know what he's called, but he's actually the whole reason why Michael Myers cannot die. He's basically his boss. And they're a part of this cult. I believe it's called Curse of the Thorn. But basically, it's the guy who works at the sanitarium where he was first put, and he was used to follow his satanic deeds. Which I wish they would give us an origin story. This is why I'm kind of a little bit pissed that neither the comic books, the Rob Zombie movies, or any of the movies in general gave like a background story as to why he did all this shit. Like, even killed his own sister in the room, or in the house. Basically, and they were, back to the teenage thing. Oh wait, no. Figures, Loomis took his gun into the Myers home in town, which, is funny because this movie, like, apparently it's the same house that he killed his sister and stuff in, but the building itself is not the same Michael Myers house that it had, you know, where it's just a two-storied house with just a simple, like, rectangular prism area. No, it was, like, somewhat gothic now. It's like, this is not the same house. You can't just say this is the same house just because, oh, Michael Myers killed somebody here. And they don't say it's an alternative house either. They just say, oh, it's the house, even though it looks nothing like the house. And he calls out Michael as he roams through the dusty, vacant rooms, and he's like, "Have you come home, Michael? I know what you want from her." And then a mysterious stranger with boots, tattooed rune on his wrist, similar to the one on Michael's wrist, was also in the house, which is kind of creepy. So now we go to the Tower Farm Massacre, which is where, like, a big Halloween thing. It's kind of like Nightmare Night is for Ponyville, I guess. This is a bad example. But that's what happens. And after loading this guy's trunk with 3 cases of stolen beer from Spitz Food Store for their planned Tower Farm Halloween party later that night, Myers scratched Mikey's freshly waxed and polished convertible with a garden claw implement. When he challenged the masked killer, Mikey was grabbed by his throat and stabbed in the forehead with a 3-pronged claw tool. Before getting dragged away, a costume pageant was being planned at the children's clinic. Jamie dressed as a pink princess with a tiara, which was given to her by Tina, the character that I liked so much in the first movie, only to have her killed later in this movie. And one of her best friends, Billy Hill, dressed as a pirate. During the pageant, Jamie fainted and convulsed again because of the impending danger to Tina, which it doesn't save her anyway. And you know what? I'm actually going to put this into a 2-parter because the last time I tried doing this the first time, it screwed up because I went 2 minutes over the 15-minute budget, or not budget, but anyway. I'm Captain Alex Mason, and I'll see you guys in the second part.